U.S. Senate rejects bill on sanctions against Nord Stream 2. U.S. senators voted against a bill proposed by Ted Cruz on sanctions against Nord Stream 2, news agencies reported. 43 voted against it, Reuters reported. Commercant. The Nord Stream 2 project involves laying 2 gas pipelines with a total capacity of 55 billion cubic meters per year from the Russian coast through the Baltic Sea to Germany. If Nord Stream 2 is blocked, Russia will simply continue to supply gas to Europe via the existing routes. There is already a surplus of pipeline capacity, so the volume of Russian gas sales to Europe will not change, he explains. U.S. Supreme Court blocked part of Biden's COVID vaccination orders. The U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday blocked President Joe Biden's executive order mandating vaccination and testing for employees of large businesses, but allowed vaccinations for certain healthcare workers, Axios reports. The justices ruled that the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, had no authority to issue a rule that affects more than 80 million workers. President Joe Biden criticized the Supreme Court decision. The new paper. The Supreme Court also on Thursday upheld a vaccination mandate for healthcare workers in federally funded facilities. Woman with gun-filled car detained outside Capitol. A woman with several handguns and a shotgun drove up to the Capitol Police office and said she demanded to talk. Law enforcement officers outside Congress said the intruder would be arraigned for unlawful possession and transportation of ammunition. Along with the ammunition, the following were seized from the truck: an unloaded Remington nylon shotgun, an unloaded Connecticut Valley Arms shotgun, a Gamo shotgun, and a loaded Mossberg shotgun, according to the Capitol Police website. Capitol Police headquarters is an impressive distance from the U.S. Congressional Building. Oscar organizers have contacted Holland about the ceremony. The American Academy Awards ceremony Oscar will find its host for the first time in 3 years, Variety writes, referring to the president of Hulu Originals and ABC Entertainment, Craig Ervich. The last time the Oscars were presented with a host was in 2018. Then, as the year before, the ceremony was hosted by comedian, actor and screenwriter Jimmy Kimmel. In 2021, because of the coronavirus pandemic, the ceremony was held in a mixed format at several locations simultaneously. The 94th Academy Awards ceremony will take place on March 27th, and the list of nominees will be announced as early as February 8th. Germans criticized the advisor to the President of the United States, who threatened Russia. Moscow, January 14, RIA Novosti. The readers of the Der Spiegel magazine criticized U.S. presidential advisor Jake Sullivan, who said that he will have a decisive response if Russia deploys military infrastructure in Latin America. Many users felt that Washington is trying to prohibit Russia from doing what it is willing to do. In their opinion, such behavior indicates a double standard. Actually, so far only the West is threatening. Russia says it is not going to attack. But the West is threatening serious consequences. NATO is expanding eastward, to Russia's doorstep. But if Russia does something similar near the US, they will act decisively. What is this? The West says that Ukraine is a sovereign state and has the right to invite the United States. But Venezuela and Cuba are forbidden to invite the Russians. Gradually it will become clear to everyone that there is something wrong here, Mr. Spock expressed his opinion. When I hear statements like this from the US, I sometimes glance at a map of the world to see where the United States is. They are so far away. So why does the US want to command around the world, and not let the Europeans solve their European problems themselves? Critiquictal wondered. It's just like then, during the Iraq War. They lie and twist to wage war, director noted. WRAIR. U.S. scientists announced the creation of a super vaccine against coronavirus COVID-19. U.S. scientists at WRAIR announced the creation of a vaccine against all strains of the coronavirus COVID-19. Solinka.info. The drug has been developed at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, WRAIR, based in Maryland. Miskovsky-Komsomolets. The developers say the injection of the miracle vaccine induces a strong binding antibody response against the receptor-binding domain and spike proteins of all variants of concern. Miskovsky-Komsomolets. The ferritin vaccine has already passed, and the first phase of clinical trials on volunteers. Meta, Alphabet, Twitter, and Reddit received congressional subpoenas for storming the Capitol. The U.S. House committee investigating the January 2021 attack on the Capitol has subpoenaed Alphabet, Facebook/Meta, Reddit, and Twitter. BIS Journal. YouTube served as a platform for sharing plans for the January 6th attack, including live streaming of the assault. Facebook was used to spread conspiracy theories about the election, and Twitter was used to spread information about fraud in the presidential election. Moscow. In January 2021, Americans who support Donald Trump staged a protest outside a government building demanding the cancellation of the presidential election results. RBC Investments. As Regnum News Agency reported, the leader of the Republican minority in the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, refused to cooperate with members of the special committee. Congress investigating the circumstances of the storming of the Capitol.